Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come along with me in today's video. Y'all, I got a new cookbook that I found. We took a little trip up to the Smoky Mountains for a few days, and I'm just so excited. But first, got to get some corn shelled so I can practice some recipes. So if you're new to the channel, we grow 2 heirloom varieties. Andy is actually trying to make his own variety of corn. We're doing a mixture of the Jimmy Red and the Hickory King. This right here is some of it. A lot of it turned out white, but we did get some red in some of it.
I actually have some yellow corn to add to the mix this year too.
What variety is it?
I believe it's Trucker's Favorite or something. It's an heirloom, of course, like the rest.
And if you want to know more about our mixture and Andy's love for corn, I'll be sure to post those videos too.
And why I'm even trying to make my own variety.
Right.
There's not really no rhyme or reason. It's just because somebody asked me here a while back. I said, well, why do you do what you're doing with that corn? And
I'm gonna help you with your corn now.
Okay, baby.
but they asked, why do I do what I'm doing?
That's okay.
They asked, why in the world was I doing what I was doing with that corn? And the plain and simple answer is just because I want to. I mean, I really don't have no other reason. I think it's very, very interesting. But if I don't quit, I'm gonna get to rambling about corn here. And so this video is not exactly about rambling about corn, is it? I need this. You can shell that by hand. That red corn shell's easy. Don't even smell that tractor leaking.
What are you doing?
So my corn to go in here. I already had a little bit.
How much do you need?
Give me a little more than that. Jacob, you think you need that whole thing full?
I need a whole bowl.
Think that's enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Look at me, there's more cornmeal.
Yep.
I bet they're gonna come and say why you blow it out.
What we need to do is come down here and shell it all and clean it all. Be the best thing to do. I guess this works though. Hey, turn around and show them here. Those people that was with us back in the summer probably remember me trying to get this old tractor cranked. I finally got it started, y'all. But I got a lot of work I got to do to this old thing. But at least it's here at the house now. Here's your corn.
Thank you, dear.
I got you some more corn.
All right, first off, I want to show y'all my new Nutri-Meal grain meal that a sweet subscriber sent us for Christmas. And God just works in mysterious ways. And I just feel so blessed to have received this that words don't even do it justice of how I felt and how I feel about that. But anyways, I also, like I told you at the beginning of the video, we took a few days and went up to the Smoky Mountains. We love that area. And at the visitor center, they had this cookbook here. It's called Mountain Makins in the Smokies. Mountain Makins in the Smokies. And it says, Great Smoky Mountain Association's oldest book, first published in 1957. So they just republished it and now have it in their visitor center. Y'all, I love this book. So if you go to the Great Smoky Mountains, please be sure to check it out. Look through it. A lot of really cool recipes in here that I cannot wait to try. But first, I am struggling making cornbread with my freshly ground cornmeal. I've always used self-rising cornmeal. I can make a heck of a good pound of cornbread using self-rising cornmeal. I've struggled with this. There are 3 different cornbread recipes in this book. So I'm going to try one of them today. And I'm going to see if I can get my cornbread to do like I want it to. I mean, my cornbread's good, with my cornmeal, but it doesn't rise. I'm just struggling. It's like greasy sometimes, you know. So anyways, let's get us some cornmeal made. I've already started and got most of it ground, but we'll get the rest of it done, and I'm gonna try this cornbread. Now what I'm going to do with this cornmeal, just like I said, me and Andy's been experimenting with it. And the best way I've found for cornmeal, yes, there's some in there right now, but it's a little, you know, still got some pretty big chunks in it. I'm going to run it through one more time, and then I'm going to sift it. Alright, so now I'm going to use one of these sifters. Sometimes I use the hand one, but I'm going to use this one for right now. Let's see. Let me use a little cup so I don't make so much of a mess. And what you're doing is you're separating your grits from your cornmeal. You can see how fine that is. That's my cornmeal, and this is what has not been sifted yet, so you can see there's still some cornmeal left in there. That's cornmeal and grits mixed together. This right here, like I said, this is not my recipe. This is Miss Guy Cable, it says in this Smoky Mountain book, so I want to give them credit. Heaven help them, they may not still be around, I don't know, but we're going to give this a try. So, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, so let's get all this mixed together. This is the part I have trouble with. I just can't seem to get my ratios right with the fat versus the baking powder and baking soda. So we'll see. Like I said, there's 3 recipes in there. I'm trying the first one. I've never used this much cornmeal in one of them, so maybe that was my problem. I don't know, but we shall see. So now it calls for 2 eggs. And I got my oven sitting on 425. Letting 2 tablespoons of lard melt in my pan. Alright, and 2 cups of milk. So let me get all that mixed together. It's actually quite a bit more milk than I normally use too. So we'll see. I'm excited about this. Alright, I'm going to pour my hot grease in. I do normally do that part with the hot grease. You really want to mix it till that grease is incorporated. I do know that part. And into the hot pan it goes. So, per the cookbook, 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to set it on 20 minutes first. And if it's not done at that point, then we'll just keep going. We are having I think I'm gonna cook some cabbage tonight. We're gonna have cabbage, and we're gonna have baked beans, steaks, and homemade French fries. So, yeah, y'all just join me for that too. Alright guys, here we go, moment of truth. I did cook the cornbread 30 minutes instead of just 20 because it wasn't quite as done as I wanted it to be when I looked at it at 20 minutes. So let's see if it's done now. Oh, wow. Look at that. Now that looks really good. So something my mama actually told me the other day that I didn't, I've never heard before, but she said that her grandma always used to say that your cornbread is not done until you start smelling it. And that's when you know your cornbread is about done. That's kind of the way this right here was. I really started smelling it right there in the last few minutes. So let's see if I can get it in a plate. That's not good. Well, it stuck just a little bit. It looks better than any that I've made yet.
It does look pretty good.
I told them I was experimenting, so it's stuck in the middle though. It don't usually stick with this pan. Alright y'all, so me and Andy got to looking at the cornbread, and I don't think it was quite done in the middle. I think that's why it's stuck, because my cornbread, that's my cornbread pan, and it don't usually stick in there. So I put it in for actually, I've let it cook another 10 minutes, so that will be 40 minutes all together. We're just going to see. Alright, there it is. Now, yeah, it looked a little, that looks a lot better. It looked a little doughy in here, right where it tried to stick at. So we'll let that cool a little bit, and we'll let you know how it tastes when I get everything done. My fries are done, steaks are done, everything's done. We're gonna cut into this. Well, it's got a good crunchy outside for sure.
That's not a bad thing.
No.
I hope it's done.
Oh man.
Oh, that looks good.
It does look good. So I hope that is good. Should I try it?
Yeah.
Mmm.
It's good.
It's good.
But
Could have cooked a little longer.
really?
I cooked it 10 more minutes than it said. My daddy would say it ain't done. No, I think it's good though. It's very good.
Look at the red cornmeal in it. I think that looks so cool.
So I got 2 more recipes in the book to try. So I'll be trying them next time I make cornbread too. Just see which one does the best for us, which one we like the best, but this is by far the best I've done so far. So, like I said, if you're visiting the Smoky Mountains, be sure to check out the Mountain Makin's cookbook. Like, look in it and see if it's stuff that you find interesting. There's a lot of recipes using cornmeal, like cornmeal dumplings, cornmeal muffins, I mean, it was all kind of cornmeal cake. Because back in the day, up in the mountains, cornmeal is what they had an abundance of.
Well, it's stored well.
And it's stored well. That's right.
Stored well.
So a lot of these old recipes are using cornmeal versus flour. So I'm excited to try some. I looked on Amazon. There are like some resales of it. But of course, if you buy it from the visitor center, that money goes to the Smoky Mountain National Park. So do as you please with that. But I guess let's get us some supper eat. Look at our good looking steaks here. Now you see this yellow fat here?
That's
These
Jersey
were
fat.
Yep, these were Jersey steaks, and this was from a Jersey cow. Best beef we ever eat by far, ain't it, Andy?
Absolutely.
Yep. I don't know if we're going back to Angus beef or not.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyways, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Hope you learned a little something. Let me know how I did on my cornbread, or if you have any tips to add. Like I said, I can make real good cornbread with self-rising cornmeal. I've just been struggling with this fresh cornmeal. So anyways, till we see you on the next one, y'all have a good one.
A good one.